Top 5 Scariest Ghost Stories. Ghost stories have been around since the oral history of man, an attempt to explain some of the paranormal things that go on in the universe. Some, like the story of the Gray Man or Bloody Mary, are simply horror stories meant to frighten. Others, like creepypasta, are fictional and meant to provide entertainment in the most unsettling way possible. Do you believe in ghosts or have a favorite ghost story? In this video, we'll be going over some of the ghost stories that we think are the most terrifying. Don't forget to like and subscribe and leave a comment down below telling us what you think is the scariest story on our list. Okay, let's get started. Number 1. The Vanishing Hitchhiker. The Vanishing Hitchhiker is a common ghost story in many parts of the world. While details vary, the end result is the same. Someone picks up a lonely, wandering hitchhiker who eventually vanishes without a trace. Sometimes, this happens while the hitchhiker is in the car. Since there are so many stories, there is no one singular vanishing hitchhiker. However, there are common threads that carry through around the world. One of the most common aspects of this ghost story is the vanishing hitchhiker giving an address to a house or home that no longer exists or has been abandoned. Other versions of the story involve the ghostly hitchhiker leaving something in the car when they get out, like a scarf or hat. When the driver goes to give it back, the hitchhiker is gone. And later, the driver discovers the same garment over a gravestone bearing the name of the hitchhiker. And some stories even incorporate gods or divine spirits into the story. For instance, a variant of the story in Hawaii has the hitchhiker as the goddess Pawley, who travels the roads of the islands and rewards travelers who are kind. Some other variants of the story have the hitchhiker foretelling prophecies. However, skeptics claim that most of these stories about hitchhikers can be attributed to hallucinations, exaggeration, or simply fictitious stories. While there's no way that every single vanishing hitchhiker story is true, do you think the high number of times this story has been told and experienced lend credence to the existence of ghosts? Considering how popular this ghost story is in all parts of the world, it's certainly a strange phenomenon. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Number 2. The Bell Witch. The Bell Witch was a ghost story that arose to popularity in the late 19th century. Author Martin V. Ingram wrote a book that became the definitive version of the story, called An Authenticated History of the Bell Witch. The story begins when John Bell discovers a ghostly dog. The rest of the Bell family discovers more and more paranormal creatures, like a giant bird or a girl in a green dress. Knocking on the walls, chains rattling, and dogs barking kept the Bell family up at night. And eventually, the Bell children were tortured by invisible poltergeists, who scratched, slapped, and pierced the poor children. Having enough of the haunting, the Bell family asked for help, which spread the word of the Bell hauntings far and wide across America. Eventually, an apparition appeared, claiming that it was once happy, but had been disturbed. The apparition, who became known as the Bell Witch, would perform feats like repeating 2 sermons that were given at the same time at once, giving religious arguments from the Bible, or impersonating the dead. This story spread so far that even real-world figures got involved, like Civil War soldier and future president Andrew Jackson, whose men were frightened away from the Bell House after being told to investigate it. The Bell Witch is a well-documented case of the paranormal occurring. In fact, it was so convincing to most that the lines of supernatural fiction and true history around the Bell Witch have been blurred. Do you think the Bell Witch was a real ghost, or did the speculation get mixed into history too much? Let us know in the comments below. Number 3. Bloody Mary. Even if you haven't heard of the other ghosts on our list, you've almost certainly heard of this one. This spirit appears when someone chants her name in a mirror 3 times. However, this was not always the case. Historically speaking, Invoking Bloody Mary was a way for young women to glimpse their future husbands by walking up a flight of stairs backwards and looking into a hand mirror. The mirror would then either reveal the face of their future husband or a skull, meaning she would die before getting a chance to marry. Nowadays, though, Bloody Mary serves no helpful purpose, instead screeching, cursing, or in some cases strangling those who summon her from a mirror. Bloody Mary is a popular ghost story to this day, and the ritual is often performed in groups of people looking for a thrill. While you can test if summoning Bloody Mary is real or not for yourself, the likely cause of this ghost story is because staring at a mirror in a darkened room can cause hallucinations, as the eyes try to recognize a face with limited information. This can cause features to distort, which gives Bloody Mary her ghastly appearance. While no stories of Bloody Mary killing someone or appearing outside of a mirror or darkened room have ever been confirmed, there's a reason this ghost story remains so popular. Have you ever been part of a group that tried to summon Bloody Mary? If so, what happened? Tell us your story in the comments. Number 4. The Lady in Red. The Lady in Red is the tale of a woman known as Jenny Pearl Cox, who died in a car accident in Vancouver in 1944. This ghost is often depicted as a mistress or prostitute that was killed by the man she was sleeping with, and is surprisingly often friendly to those who witness her. This ghost story is so common, it has also appeared in other countries and continents as well, including America, Asia, the United Kingdom, Ireland, and more. Due to the nature of her profession while she was alive, she most commonly appears outside of theaters and hotels. She also often appears near mining sites, as they were popular places for prostitution when her story was most common. She is sometimes depicted as crying blood, and often floats a few inches off the ground, appearing distraught. Some people who see the Lady in Red refuse to go back to work, thinking that the sight of her is a bad omen, and move somewhere else. What do you think of the Lady in Red? Let us know in the comments below. Number 5. The Gray Man of Pawley's Island. South Carolina has a secret weatherman, the Gray Man of Pawley's Island. This ghostly figure warns the residents of the state about upcoming storms and hurricanes. The last reported sighting was in 2018, just before Hurricane Florence ravaged the state. The sighting before that was in 1989, again, just before a big hurricane. As the story goes, the Gray Man was on his way to meet his fiancée, but was caught in mud in the marsh on his way and died. Ever since, he has haunted the shoreline of Pawley's Island. Some people claim that seeing him means you'll be spared from the storm, as a young couple who spotted him discovered that in the wreckage of the hurricane, their house was the only one in the neighborhood that was undamaged by the storm. This friendly ghost is a great boon to the people of South Carolina, and is often depicted as friendly. While his appearance can be startling, he is a ghost after all. He's typically depicted dressed like a pirate, sometimes with no legs. His skin and clothes are both gray, of course, which is how he got the name Gray Man. The identity of the ghost of Pawley's Island has been up for debate. Some claim that he was Percival Pawley, for whom the island was named after. Others claim that he was an early resident of South Carolina by the name of Plowden Charles Weston. Some more out there claims say that he's Edward Teach, more commonly known as Blackbeard. Do you know anyone who has had an encounter with a Gray Man of South Carolina? What do you think of this helpful ghost? Thanks for watching our video. Looking for more? Check out this playlist. We've done some videos on ghost stories before, including a video on ghost ships, and another video that covers the Bell Witch. Check out those videos on our channel. Be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so that you don't miss more videos by us. We've got 2 more spooky videos like this one coming up soon. Did you have a favorite ghost story? Let us know what it was in the comments below. Anyway, we'll see you in the next video. Take care.